Michigan State, quick, you guys saw that. Didn't play well in all phases against a pretty good team. And, we talked about that quickly yesterday, but it kind of moved into quickly into getting ready for Purdue. And didn't have a lot of good performances on either side of the ball, kicking game as well, which is disappointing. But same time, trying to finish up our senior guys last week. To me, senior week's always a big week. You're very fortunate here to not only play at home your last game, but also play a quality rival that's not everyone gets that opportunity to have a great rival game. So we're trying to embrace that challenge and use that as some great motivation to wrap up our season on a high note and send the seniors out and with a very positive week. So Thanksgiving week, we're working a normal week. We'll do some work Thursday morning, but then give the guys a chance regionally to kind of get mixed up and hooked up with families to kind of have a Thanksgiving afternoon and come back in on Friday. But it's kind of a normal work week, even though it's a holiday week with school. So last week, and looking forward to the challenge of Purdue this week. So what you got?
The issue that you've had on defense, is there a trend with that? Is that a talent issue, an execution issue, a speed issue? Anything you could put your finger on with that?
Probably all of the above and a lot of everything. I know schematically we've tried to do some things, I think, as we look at our personnel and our size and strength and matching up front, that we've tried to tweak some things, but at the same time, when you go through the core of your development with spring and preseason, you kind of get maybe moving in a direction that you're trying to shuffle your cards, but your cards are what they are. So again, that being said, we keep looking internally at ourselves and how to make ourselves better internally with strength gains. I think we've gotten in great shape. I think our kids have leaned up, but we're way too small. Our strength level is way too small. With that, our ability to play physical is not what you need and desire. But again, playing a lot of young guys, those guys hopefully have done reasonably well and will grow. We'll try to complement that with another good recruiting class, have a good off season. And then scheme-wise, we need to keep looking again at, what's a guy processing? Can he do what we're asking him to do? Can he play that alignment and rush the passer and still play good run defense? Can he play that leverage and be able to play good pass coverage, also show up in the run game? So we'll keep looking significantly at what we're doing, how to be a heck of a lot better than we are right now. Need to be, have to be.
What have you got now? What have you learned out of this first season?
Right now, exactly, greater feel of the internal issues of how to make our core and our locker room and our culture better internally, how to develop what we have, and more than anything, maybe as a coach, just my ability to do a better job connecting with our guys, our coaches doing a better job of teaching our guys what we want to do, and if we can't do it, how to make adjustments and put them in better positions. I'm not one to come up here, like I said before, we don't have a playbook and hear the plays and we got to run these plays. I think we're talking defensively, okay, if we can't execute this defense, it might look nice on paper and it might work, but if it doesn't work for us, let's make sure we're moving in positions to put our guys in places, do things that can work. So I think the key thing short term is, to me, the disappointment in me and our ability to connect and get our guys to still play better than we've played, because I know, in my opinion, I've said from the get-go, we're a much better football team than our record, and that falls solely on me and our coaches.
You mentioned a couple times, you had to connect with the guys. What do you, in your mind, having said that yourself, what do you think you did wrong? What would you do differently, and what do you want to do going forward?
Well, again, I think the key thing as a coach, you've got to, and I think when you say connect, it's trust, and that your players trust you. Believe in what you're telling them. Believe that you're doing things the proper way for them, as on the field, off the field, as we're moving forward. So, and you've got to earn it. I can't tell you got to trust me. Trust the coaching. Trust that we know what we're doing. Trust this works. But it's our ability as coaches to get that connection to that they do trust. They trust schematically what we're doing. And if schematically what we're doing isn't always right, that we're smart enough to see that, recognize that, and make adjustments and move forward to give us better chances.
That move of Stoner, the wide receiver, do you anticipate that being long-term, or is that just because of the attrition?
No, we had actually talked about that about a month ago, and then we had some issues defensively depth-wise. We're already playing him. And during the open week, we were like, hey, even though we still have some thinness in the defensive secondary, we think with his speed, and not that he wasn't doing what he's playing as a true freshman, we just thought he could impact us there. And then that being said, that maybe affects some of the recruiting thoughts as you move forward if he's in the recruiting mix. So our thought process and not moving guys back and forth, we kind of saw that as a long-term deal. We had started that about a month ago behind the scenes, just throwing balls and working with him a little bit post-practice to make sure we were comfortable, and thought he could help us there, and we just decided open week to go that direction. And I would anticipate, nothing's never etched in stone, but I'm pretty confident. I believe that's the direction for he and for us. I think Nick's pretty comfortable with wanting to do that, and I think Coach Johns is excited about his potential there. We got several young guys, but I think he'll give us a little bit of top end speed, and as we move forward in time, maybe give us a little bit more outside, speed that we need out there in the perimeter.
What kind of role do you see him playing as a wide receiver against the ball?
But again, it's no different. Again, short term, he's got so much time on task. Like Mark Murphy, you go through preseason as a safety, and then you get an injury first game he's playing backer, and the same deal. So what that role is, I don't know. One, he was the state 100-meter champ of Indiana. He's a fast guy, and he does have pretty good ball skills. We got him back there, catching punts, catching kicks, so he handles the ball for a fast guy pretty well. And I just think you look at the speed he brings, and even as fast as maybe change the direction and playing defensive back, he just look to be a guy that would be better served and could make a greater impact as an offensive guy. Like I say, Coach Johns, we grabbed him pushed him probably 5-6 weeks ago, and started letting me just catch a couple balls, run a route or two post-practice, and after a day or two, hey, he's got a chance to help us. And we just decided we would have moved him earlier, but we, again, with the injuries we had at safety and whatnot, we were a little thin on that side of the ball. But open day week, we just went ahead and said, let's go ahead and get him adjusted over there. Short term this week, last week, he didn't have a huge impact last week. He's still learning the position. So even though you're a fast guy, when you're thinking, you don't play that fast. So, the real deal will be in the all season as he moves. He needs to get, like a lot of our young players, he's very slight. We got to get him stronger, but he does bring some speed, and hopefully that'll be able to help us stretch some defenses vertically in the pass game.
How is this rivalry different from what you've experienced at Miami or Northwestern or Oklahoma?
Well, I don't know. I think the more you're around it, the uniqueness is it's a state rival. So, you got the two institutions of the state. They're state institutions. You grow up in the state, and for the most part, I'm assuming that majority fans are pulling for one. For the family has, the grandfather has, for decades and for 100+ years. It's one school or the other. So, but again, to me, what makes a rival great is there's a natural rub, and there's kind of a respect you have for the school because you know them. The families know each other, the communities know each other. So that being said, it's family going against family, and that kind of makes for a little heated, bad blood rival. And again, so I think I've tried to tell our kids I don't think every school has that. If you go across, I bet you if you look at the 120 D1 schools, there's probably 70 to 75 that you would say has a natural, true rival, and there's some others that are searching. So I think we're very lucky to have one. That being said, with the way our seasons went, we're using this week to try to find some positive motivation for our seniors and to end it on a high note.
With the seniors, are you trying to impress upon them that this is their last game and to take advantage of it, or are you trying to have them find their own motivation?
We've talked about it. To me, question asked last night, we had, I think 4 of our returning juniors that are fourth-year guys, are planning on graduating and not coming back for their 5th year. And we talked to them about, again, pushing about a month ago, what's your plans moving forward? We talked to every one of our juniors to see what their plans were. And I say that because to me, I think senior week is a big deal. I can remember my senior week of high school practice. We took a senior lap around the field, and we're in the playoffs. If you won, you got to take another lap the next week and the next week. We had senior hit day where at different schools where now you don't do that because you don't want to get sued, but you got to pick your guy out and target your buddy that you wanted to hit, your young guy that you were. It was like an honor. But Coach Mal did it. I was always one of those gigs as a player. Like you pick out who you want, and it was a respect that one of your last hits in practice was someone that you were handing the torch over to. So to me, like I told our seniors yesterday, we've been frustrated to some degree and not had a great year, and coaches as much or more than players. But that being said, one of the best weeks of the season is your culminating week, and it needs to be one of the most special weeks. That I was talking to Coach Deal, and I heard a comment him the last game. You don't want to take your pads off. You want to sit there, and it's a unique feeling. And that being said, so I don't know what each guy can get motivated differently, but I know in my life the last time you do things to me is always special because I get very involved in where we are, what we do in my life. So I don't like things that, you know, I don't like my kids growing up. I kind of like them the way they are, but they keep growing up, you know, and that being said, you know, things change in your life. Guys are going on to the next chapter of their life. This has been a difficult year, and it's not been what anyone's wanted or asked for, and it's not been what these seniors have wanted or asked for. That being said, our goal as coaches is to make this week as great a week as it can be for those guys. They've you know, to me, they've earned the right being here 4 or 5 years. And again, we've had some shortcomings, but the effort and the time and the commitment those guys have made have been astronomical. They have busted their tail for us in a great way, and our job as coaches is to give this team a chance to win every game, and especially here last week, and especially when you're playing a great rival as Purdue. So how they get motivated because it's seniors' last game, to me, there's a lot of dynamics that make this week a great week for those guys, and we want it to be as good as we can. The culmination is having a great week of practice to have the opportunity to go out and play well and get a win on Saturday.